You want to grow bigger and stronger, don't you?
Golly!
Americans spend over $1,500 a year on snacks alone. That's not dining out, that's not groceries, that's just snacks. Chips at the gas station, a bag of trail mix from CVS, a protein bar that's more sugar than protein. And yeah, those $6 fruit snacks that somehow have zero fruit in them. And most of the time, we think we're making better choices than we are. We see cartoon characters and bright packaging, buzzwords promising low-fat, gluten-free, or natural. It looks harmless and even healthy. Yogurt that's basically dessert. Food companies have mastered the art of looking healthy and feeding a long-term health crisis. And most of us, we're already caught in the trap. Because behind it all is a food industry shaped by decades of corporate lobbying, political decisions, and psychological marketing tactics. Junk food isn't just normal now, it's the default, and we're paying for it, both with our health and our wallets. So how did we get here? Why is it so hard to eat well, save money, and avoid this constant loop of mindless snacking? So today, let's get into how junk food has taken over our lives and our bank accounts. Rewind to the 1950s. Brands like Frito-Lay's and Hostess were flooding shelves with new snack products. And by the 1980s, on-the-go eating wasn't a trend, it was the norm. And the political system only helped it grow. The US government encouraged massive corn production. Corn became cheap, and with cheap corn came cheap corn syrup, the key ingredient in soda, candy, breakfast cereals, and mostly processed snacks. By the 1980s and 1990s, food companies realized something crucial. It was easier to make money selling snack food than whole food. A potato, that's cheap, but slice it, fry it, bag it, and market it as extreme cheddar double crunch, and now you've just tripled the value. And this is where politics meets profit. Lobbying groups spent millions lobbying Congress to relax labeling laws, block soda taxes, and fight against nutrition standards in school. In 2010 alone, food and beverage companies spent over $175 million on lobbying. Why? Because the more confusing food labeling is, the easier it is to sell junk food disguised as health food. If natural, made with real fruit, or whole grain keeps you buying, that's a win for them, even if it's a loss for you. And it's not hundreds of companies doing this, it's about 10. Just a handful of corporations like Nestle, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, General Mills own nearly every major food brand you see in stores, from snacks to cereals to health foods. It all traces back to the same boardrooms. And they control what gets stocked, what gets marketed, and what ends up in your cart. And with their money comes influence on regulations, food labeling laws, school lunches, and even the definition of what's considered healthy. It's not just food, it's a system of consumerism, engineered from the top down, designed to keep you buying more, eating more, and questioning less. Most of us think we're making better choices when we reach for healthy snacks. A lot of these are junk food in disguise. Granola bars often have as much sugar as a candy bar. Fruit snacks may contain more corn syrup than actual fruit. Low fat or gluten-free doesn't mean good for you, it just sounds better. They use health halos or words and claims that make food seem healthier than it is. Most of these terms are loosely regulated or mean nothing at all. They really just distract you from what's really inside. And perhaps even worse, a lot of food labels are filled with complicated scientific terms that most of us can't even pronounce, like maltodextrin, sodium benzoate, and partially hydrogenated oils that confuse the average shoppers, and that is intentional. When people can't understand what's in their food, they're more likely to trust the packaging instead of the ingredients. And this isn't accidental. Big food companies invest millions in keeping labels confusing while pushing simple, emotional marketing messages like guilt-free or fit-friendly. And when people buy based on those messages, they pay with both their money and their health. Even just buying a $3 granola bar or bottled drink every day adds up to $90 a month, which is more than $1,000 a year. Junk food is designed to hijack your brain. And I'm not speaking metaphorically. Scientists have studied how sugar, salt, and fat interact with our reward systems, and the result, a dopamine spike that makes you happy. And this feedback loop, the craving, the indulgence, the reward, tricks your brain into wanting more. And over time, you're not eating chips because you're hungry. You're eating them because your brain has learned to seek that reward. Because food is emotional. It's cultural, nostalgic, and often tied to comfort. And junk food companies know this, and they lean into it. Had a rough day? Treat yourself to some ice cream. Celebrating? Grab a pizza. watching a movie, of course, popcorn and a soda. Junk food has wormed its way into nearly every ritual we participate in. It's marketed as a reward, even as a best friend. But that emotional comfort comes at a cost. And the worse we feel about our choices, the more likely we are to reach for the thing that caused the guilt in the first place. The junk food industry doesn't just sell food, it sells feelings. Think about Coca-Cola's holiday campaigns with Santa Claus, or McDonald's I'm Lovin' It. These aren't ads about ingredients or nutrition. It's about belonging, emotion, and desire. In 2024 alone, food and beverage companies spent over $14.1 billion on advertising in the US, and most of it pushing high-calorie and low-nutrient products. They are not just part of the culture, they are shaping it, and it works. Studies show that children exposed to junk food ads eat more unhealthy snacks, even if they're not hungry. And adults aren't much better. We think we're in control, but we're not. In wealthier neighborhoods, you'll see more grocery stores, fresh produce, and organic options. In lower income areas, you'll often find fast food chains and corner markets. And that's not random. These are called food deserts, or areas where it's hard to find affordable, healthy food. And they're more common in poor communities. And in those areas, people end up paying more for worse food. A $5 burger is faster and easier than a $15 salad. But over time, the health costs pile up. And sure, junk food is cheap, fast, and available, but it also leads to health problems, obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure that are expensive to treat. So families with less money end up spending more on health care, while also losing income from missed work or long-term health issues. The system profits off the people who can least afford it. And that creates a cycle where junk food isn't just a habit, it's become a necessity because it's all that's nearby, all that's affordable, and all that's marketed. The CDC estimates that obesity-related illness costs the US around $173 billion per year. And that cost isn't absorbed by the government. It affects you. It shows up in your insurance premiums, medical bills, prescriptions, and lost productivity. That $1 snack isn't as cheap as it looks. It's a form of financial self-sabotage that we've been manipulated into accepting. And for people already struggling financially, it becomes a trap they can't afford to escape. Junk food is cheap not because it's efficient, but because it's subsidized. In the US, crops like corn, soy, and wheat receive billions in government subsidies. These crops are the backbone of ultra-processed foods. Think corn syrup, soybean oil, and refined starches. Meanwhile, fruits and vegetables receive a fraction of that funding. So the food that's making us sick, it's actually being propped up by tax dollars. And the food that could nourish us, priced out of reach. And this isn't just an American problem anymore. Junk food is America's most toxic export. Companies like Coca-Cola, Nestle, and PepsiCo have aggressively expanded into developing countries, often outpacing public health infrastructure. In places like Mexico, India, and parts of Africa, soda consumption has skyrocketed, and childhood obesity is following close behind. Traditional diets rich in grains, legumes, and fresh vegetables are being replaced with ultra-processed, nutrient-poor snacks. And once the habits are established, they're hard to break. This isn't an American problem anymore. It's an everyone problem now as well. So given all of this, what can you do? Escaping the junk food trap isn't easy. It's almost everywhere, but it's not impossible. If you spent $7 a day on food outside the house, that is $200 a month. Even if you just cut that in half and invested the other half, say $100 a month, that could become over $17,000 in 10 years. In 20 years, that is over $49,000. In 30 years, nearly $120,000. It's not just about guilt-tripping yourself over a $7 Lunchable. It's about realizing how that little unhealthy purchase fits into your bigger financial picture. But it's also about how it costs you, your health, and financial future. Speaking of investing, invest in real food. And sure, groceries are expensive, but in the long run, cooking at home with simple ingredients saves you money and involves your health. Rice, beans, frozen veggies, eggs, oats. These basics cost you less than you think and go further than a pepperoni pizza. And they don't come with hidden sugars or marketing tricks. And once you get into the habit of a healthy lifestyle, you'll find that you don't actually need junk food at all in your life. And cooking doesn't have to be complicated. You can invest in the right tools like a pressure cooker to make cooking a good meal as passive as possible. A simple stir fry or pasta dish can cost less, than $3 a serving and be much more filling than a bag of chips and a soda. Even if it's just $10 a week, that's $520 a year, which could go into your savings instead. And budgeting strategies like the 50-30-20 rule can help. So allocate 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings or debt. Junk food should live in that 30%. If it's creeping into your needs category, that's a big red flag. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with having some of your favorite triangle-shaped chips every once in a while, or grab some fast food if you're in a rush. All of this isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. The system is built to push junk food on us, to make it feel normal, easy, and rewarding. But it's not designed with your health or your financial well-being in mind. So just be mindful of what and why you eat certain things, because it all has an impact on the money in your wallet and really your life. You can spend less, save more, and live a healthier and wealthier life. And that's it. Let me know what you think about junk food and this consumer culture we live in that's quietly draining our lives and wallets in the comments below. If you enjoy videos like this blend of consumerism, pop culture, and finance, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. Thank you very much for watching. Junk food isn't just bad for your body, it's a trap for your wallet. And at the heart of it all is one ingredient that's more profitable and more widespread than any other, and that's sugar. So check out the next video on how sugar became the cornerstone of processed food and how understanding its financial and psychological costs might just save you thousands.